Well, for our instructional designers, whether they're new to the field or they're transitioning into the field, my advice is to build three muscles early. Your understanding and use of the needs analysis, as you mentioned, the importance of stakeholder alignment, and that touches very much on what I was saying earlier about understanding the context, the business environment in which this solution is being developed, and iteration, which goes back to what we were saying just now about being able to pivot and make changes and go in a different direction. Don't feel like you have to be perfect out of the gate. Be curious, ask good questions, meaning questions that you don't know the answers to, and questions that you're not even sure where they might lead. Okay. But questions that sort of unpack more than um, anyone expects. Um, Another thing, just sort of an adjunct to that, is if you're put in charge of a project and someone tells you, a manager, a business director, someone of import tells you who's going to be in the meeting, where everything that's going to happen from that point forward is will be decided. Don't be afraid to speak up and suggest people that are not invited to the meeting, especially if there are people who have some actual touch point to the end process or the development of a tool that you know is going to be used. I like to think of it as I like to have more people in the room that are closer to the ground than I have than I have leadership. And that's because leadership has been talking about what is going to be happening in this meeting for weeks. They know, they think, what everything that needs to be said and what there is to learn. And they're thinking of it as an opportunity to just dump the information on you. They expect you to have a giant bucket that you can capture it all and go away with it and synthesize it and know what to do. Like that's always going to be the approach. And it's up to you to realize that just because they've been talking about it for weeks and thinking that this is going to be a one-way dissemination of information, your job is to push in the other direction, to ask the questions, as I said, and invite comments from those people who are closest to the what will eventually be the end solution, right? Because they are the ones who know about some of those hidden obstacles. They are the ones that know about things that no one is going to bother to tell you because they didn't think it was important. So that's sort of a long tangent, but I just want to say, give yourself agency, give yourself permission to invite other people to meetings. I mean, this might be the only time you ever get all these people in a room. So you're the one whose butt is on the line more than anyone else. Because if you're in charge of this initiative, this learning solution, and it goes sideways or costs more money, no one else is going to be looking back at that meeting and saying, well, I neglected to give them the information they obviously needed. No, they're going to say, what didn't you do? What didn't you ask? Why didn't you assume this? Why didn't you predict this? Right.
Right.
So the only way you can be in a position to be a defensible position in that instance is if you give yourself the authority that no one else is going to just volunteer.